These are sponsors of 8 Limbs Us, Muay Nation, and Onyx MMA in Singapore. And this was a fight against Fa Chiangrai, and she was the 105-pound Northern champion at the time that we fought. And weirdly, this fight was in Pattaya, but it was only 3 days before we were going to fight each other again up in Chiangrai for that Northern title belt. So the title fight had been scheduled already, and I got a call from Pinu, and he was like, hey, you're going to be fighting Fa Chiangrai on the 1st in Pattaya. And I was like, really? Because I'm fighting her 3 days later. And I kind of thought it was a little bit odd, like maybe it had been done on purpose or something, but when we got to the venue, I saw that she was actually fighting under a different name because she was fighting with her school. She goes to a sports school. And she actually asked me prior to the fight, we're still fighting in 3 days, right? I was like, yeah. So I guess both of us were a little surprised by the scheduling of those fights, but it was good to be able to fight her prior to the fight up in the north, because it's good to be able to fight people who are very, very challenging, and that's what Fa Chiangrai is. She's one of the best fighters in the north. And it had been hard for me to get a fight with her in the first place, and then all of a sudden I got fights with her back-to-back, so that was really good. And she had a couple other teammates on this card who fought right before. So it was nice that we were both there, like, with our gyms. Usually when I'm fighting her, I'm kind of going rogue a little bit, or with Lana up in the north. So I was a little nervous to fight her today, because I felt like it was important to win this fight prior to the championship fight, just for mental reasons. But on top of that, all of my teammates had lost this night, and Pinu's uncle came up to me and was like, you better win. And I was like, yeah, no pressure, right? But I felt pretty confident. I had won our last fight together in when we fought in Chiang Mai. But I did anticipate that she would have made some adjustments for this fight, and it's good to face people who have fought you before, because then you have to adjust to their adjustments, which forces you to grow. And I also really like Fa Chiangrai. I'm a fan of hers, so I follow her fights and watch them when I can, and I don't know, I think she's pretty badass. I've been aware of her for a very long time, because back when I was up in Chiang Mai as a fighter at Lana, she was the kind of benchmark that my main trainer Den would hold all other fighters against. It was either they were able to fight Fa Chiangrai or they weren't able to fight Fa Chiangrai, in which case they weren't very good. So I don't know, I like her. This is Tepasit Stadium in Pattaya, which is literally 2 streets down from where I train every day. So it's nice to be fighting 5 minutes away from where I live, rather than 5 hours or 10 hours or whatever I normally do. And they fight on Tuesday nights, which is why the referees always wear pink. Pink is the color for Tuesdays. And that's Moat Ek in my corner. So in round 1 of our last fight, she had kind of tried to intimidate me a little bit, like she was very aggressive. So I was kind of thinking I had to stay much closer in this fight than I had in our last ones, to try to kind of, I don't know, control her a bit more. I'd been pretty dominant in our first fight, but I felt like I could have done better. You can see Modek right there telling me to stay closer already. And she was doing really well keeping my right arm controlled right there. That's one of the big adjustments that she made from our last fight, and it was working really well at first. She's a very crafty, smart femur fighter, very technical, really good balance. So here I'm trying to stay close, but I'm not quite coming in with the right things. She's doing well, countering me as I'm trying to come in. But this leg up, hop in, had worked really well in our first fight, and it was working pretty well in this one. She likes to put herself into the ropes and then defend. There, she's controlling my right arm again. I don't know if she worked on that or if she already knew how to do that and then just hadn't done it in the first fight, but it was working well. That was cool. Blocked her kick with my kick. So here I should be punching more. I'm not really comfortable punching all the time, and I can see how that would have been very effective in this fight. You know, hindsight, that's why it's good to watch your fights, is you can know what you could have been working on, what you can do for the next one. Alright, so round 2, I was determined to solve that right arm issue. I think Kevin was yelling at me. Pinu has me left kick a lot. He can do it with immense power, and I'm getting a little bit better with the power there, but it's comfortable because I come in with that left up there too. But here, again, she's stymieing my clinch pretty well. She scores. There, I got the last score in. But in our first fight, I was able to really turn her and throw her a lot, and I don't think I threw her at all in this fight. She definitely had made some good adjustments. But it looks pretty good that I'm determined to just keep coming towards her. Like, I don't look afraid of her tagging me as I'm coming in, which is good. Here I was able to turn her a little bit. I kind of remember people, yes, I like that drag back. I kind of remember people in the gambling section were cheering a lot for her, which I thought was slightly unusual because we were in Pattaya, but maybe they knew who she was, because she's a high-profile fighter in the north. It's that damn wall of China. Couldn't quite get around it that time. That guy in the blue in the corner is a Muay Thai photographer. So there she's doing good in her move back and countering. But she's not really locking in the clinch to be able to do more than one knee at a time. It's a little bit of a punch. So here I'm following a little bit, like not cutting off the ring as well, I think, which is why I'm kind of getting stuck in those positions. But there I went behind her. Yes. Yes. And the end of the round. One moment to finish it out. So round 3 is when it really picks up. So she's kind of a backwards fighter anyway. So her going backwards is taking the lead, but that's how she fights anyway. But I think I'm catching her faster. She spit out her mouthpiece, which is not good for her. It looks good for me because, you know, it means I affected her. I don't know if it's a point or just kind of like a taken into consideration kind of thing. But there, my blocks are coming out well. Dealing with the wall of China better. Getting behind her. Here, if I had been jumping, I think I could have changed position better. I think in our first fight I jumped more in the clinch. But definitely keeping the pressure on a little bit better. I think I'm staying closer here. She likes fighting with her back against the ropes. She's pretty comfortable there, so I think I need to be turning her more. It's a good knee. And elbow to the thigh that didn't quite work as well as the first time. So my corner's telling me just to come in and lock her. You can see that hand motion there from Gaw. He's like, grab her, grab her. So there, again, I'm following her. I need to turn. But I've got my right arm in now. She's not able to lock my right arm as much. Her corner thinks that that was a good stagnation on her part. Knee. Yes. So here I'm starting to score better with this lock. There we go. So throwing someone down and not losing your imbalance is really good. If you go down together, whoever lands on top generally gets kind of a knot of a point. So you'll see people like kind of rolling to try to land on top. Motek was pretty happy with that round. He's flying in the way he does. Alright, going into round 4. Motek is usually telling me just to win round 4, just to focus on one round and really dominate it to take the lead. So that's what he's telling me going into this one. Trying to stay close, blocking as I come in because that's really when she scores. And I was able to lock her a lot better. But in this fight compared to the last one, she was actually doing much better in the clinch, and it was more difficult for me to turn her and keep scoring. But they're happy with the exchange. So here, just still trying to hunt her down. The left hook was coming out good. I think that I felt a lot of pressure to really dominate her in this round. 1, because Motek is always like win round 4, but 2, this fight was a lot harder than our last one. There were a lot more obstacles and difficulties in it, and I didn't feel like I was as dominant, even though I did feel like I was winning. So the ref is pretty much just breaking off the clinch when I catch her now. I am able to score in it first. Here trying to turn her on a caught kick. Kind of turned sideways there. Here's breaking it, and I didn't get to score. Body punch. I wasn't able to put her down off of that caught kick there. It's kind of dangerous to catch under the leg like that. And here she scored a few times. So she's backing up, trying to take the lead, trying to show that I'm chasing her, and I'm kind of chasing her. So when I'm doing that, I gotta come in, grab her, and score. So they're able to go over that block, which is really good. Pulling her back, I should have been doing a lot more of that in this fight. Good turn, good knee. That was blocked. So, round 5, last round. Motek seemed really happy. I pretty much felt like I just had to go for maybe 30 seconds and then dance off, get ready to dance. So, blocking, coming in. So he wants, you can see Gaw is telling me to just grab her. So I'm just trying to get close enough. She's very slippery at the moment. She's doing really well defending, cutting off better than I was earlier. There, finally catch her. The knees, bouncing, finally. Round 5, should have been doing that way earlier. Oh, squeeze. So here she just wants to dance off. She wants to back up the whole time, but she doesn't have a lead. So here I just need to score and then dance off. So getting my knees in to score. I should go over that a little bit. I should have just danced off there. Instead I decided to come back in, but score. Just a little bit tired here. So they're telling me stop. They're like, you can back off now. And I think, there we go. There we go. Sylvie finally understands what they're saying. I have a really hard time staying back, but that was a good block. You can hear Kevin yelling at me to not go in anymore. I don't think I can hear him. But the crowd is excited. My corner is like, Sylvie, stay off of her. There we go. And she's better at the dance-off, like she won. I keep coming forward. I don't know what it is. I like cannot stay away from people. Trying to dance it off. Yep. And that's the end of that. I felt pretty confident that I won, even though I was really not great at that dance-off at the end there. But Motek seemed really positive. My corner seemed really happy. And they were like, there we go. This is my favorite, is when Motek gets really excited and comes and talks to me. I didn't know if there was anything on this fight, like if there was a Dermpon or something, but he was so excited, so I guess he had money on it or something, but I was happy to have won this fight. you know, again, for the mental reasons of going up and fighting her for a belt in a couple of days. Plus, it's my backyard, and I was the champion of the gym, being the first win of the night out of everyone who was fighting. Pinu called me the next day and said how happy he was. I was already on the road to go up and fight Fa Chiangrai again. I was like, thank God I won that fight. I don't really know who that guy is who's petting my head. He's been at a few of my fights, but I'm not sure who he is. There's Jack and Angie. Jack came to train with me from Canada. That was great. There's Modek to help me take off my gloves. This guy is a photographer from Muay Siam, and this is the first time he's ever like gotten the gang together to take a photo, which was pretty awesome. It turned out really nice. You can see it on my page.